What is up, everybody? Welcome to Cult of Collectors. I am Charlie here with my co-host, John from Low IQ Media. I am from the cinematic universe of Charlie. That's me, Charlie Cinematic Universe. And we are also here with a special guest, Tim Talks Talkies. And we're also doing a special giveaway for the Shawshank Redemption. So let us know in the comments if you guys want to be a part of it. Just leave a comment or you can ask questions. That way we can get to know Tim on a, level of education. So, how's it going?
It's going good. Going good. Like I was saying beforehand, just finished watching the NASCAR race. Now I'm all ready for this.
Nice.
Who won today?
Oh, it was Ross Chastain. He spun Allmendinger to take the lead and win.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good race.
Awesome.
But all ready to talk movies now, though.
Yes. Well, here, go ahead, John. I'll let you go first.
No, I was just saying, I kind of got out of NASCAR because I was always kind of a Dodge. I've always been a Chrysler person, so Dodge isn't around anymore. So
yeah.
Well, if we're talking cars, then let's talk about that Henry versus Ford movie then.
Oh man, that
Ford versus Ferrari.
Ford v Ferrari. Oh, I loved it. I thought it was.
Oh, sorry. I think I got the name wrong.
You were close. You said Henry.
It has a couple of names though. In the UK, I can't remember what it's titled. It has like multiple titles though. I think it's called Mon 66 in the UK. I believe is the name of it.
Okay. What up?
Hey, Ben Buster, how you doing? So yeah, but Ford v Ferrari was fantastic. I thought it was one of the best racing movies in quite a while. It stands really well on its own as a biopic, but racing action is fantastic. Like it's really well shot. That was one of my favorites that year for the Oscars. It was damn good.
I'll be honest, I still haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's so good.
I love it. It's an excellent movie.
Another one that is great, if I could, it's right next to me, is
Go for it.
Rush.
Oh, I think I know that one.
Yeah, a Ron Howard movie. Really, really good. It bombed terribly, but it's really well made.
Yeah. Funny how movies that bomb terribly end up becoming favorites in the end.
Yeah. Yep, happened often enough.
Oh, yeah. Most of the 80s classics were movies that didn't do too well in the box office.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even you go all the way back to like It's a Wonderful Life is a classic at Christmas time. That movie bombed.
Oh, I know.
It bombed horribly.
Yeah, it did. But not only that, people weren't sure if it was considered a Christmas movie because then they didn't consider it as a Christmas movie.
So I personally, I watch it every Christmas. It's still within Christmas for me, but when you watch it, there's nothing Christmas about it until well into an hour into the movie. Like, yeah, it's not cheery and uplifting. It's a dark subject matter.
Yes, it is.
And until you get to like the only cheery Christmas thing really is everybody around the tree at the very end and everyone donating their money to help save the day. That's the only cheery uplifting thing in the movie. But it's a phenomenal movie. It's really well acted, and I mean it's one of my favorites.
Well, without it having a supernatural type of feel to it, it kind of reminds me of a Christmas Carol in a sense, like a similarity.
Yeah.
Someone down on their luck, just being crabby to everybody and, kind of finding himself towards the end and not wanting to, be that bad person anymore. It's just, there's a lot of similarity to it. So I like discovering that with movies. It's like, what are they using from like stuff that influenced them growing up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hank, Jody will be here in a little while, so he's running behind.
Yeah, that's one of Frank Capra's best. Frank Capra had a hell of a stretch. He basically dominated the 30s, and that was towards the tail end of his career. It was right after World War II, and he went out with a bang. I mean, he didn't do a whole lot after that, and it's one of the best movies ever made. So.
Oh yeah, I agree.
What are you talking about? It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm fiddling with the wheel. Had forgot to brought it. I have forgot to brought it up. Bring it up.
Bring it up.
Excuse me. Yeah. Excuse me.
No
And
worries.
so I'm
There's some-
fiddling with the computer here.
There's some great people in the chat, though.
Oh, who's that?
Yeah.
Oh, Movies with Ryan, Bin Buster, Southern Cinema. Just great people. I talk to them all the time.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, if you guys want to be a part of the giveaway, stick around until the very end.
Yeah,
Yes.
that Movies with Ryan. I don't know if you guys saw Huck's Pop Culture Cafe did like a trivia thing on his channel, and that Movies with Ryan was on it, along with Pop's Movie Dungeon, and it was an absolute blast to watch. I don't know if you guys enjoy watching trivia, but it was a lot of fun.
Nice. I mean, I do like trivia, don't get me wrong. I just noticed that I haven't seen a lot of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that with 4KD, right, his battles, are kind of like that in a sense where you kind of find out people's library. What do they have? What don't they have,
Yeah. Oh, his battles are like weekly watches for me. I look forward to them. They're so much fun. Because it's just...
Oh, yeah.
It's cool seeing what people have, but also just like the personalities of people, which is a big reason on why I watch and participate in the community. Like it's about the people more than the movies. You know what I mean? The movies are the way to connect us with the people.
Oh, yeah.
Sense.
I don't know if you got to see the live that we did with him and our,
Yes.
channel here.
Yeah.
You did?
Well,
okay.
I was actually the one that won the Matrix.
Oh, it was you.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice. Okay. I'm surprised that left my brain.
I know you like film noirs, but have you seen this yet?
Yes.
This is
What is that one? Nightmare Alley?
Nightmare Alley.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm kind of conflicted on. So that one's up for Best Picture, and I thought the costume design is amazing. The set design is amazing. The score is amazing. The characters, while true to the story, are incredibly unlikable, and it kind of slogged through the runtime for me because I'm not really rooting for anybody. It's so like on the technical side, it nails so much, but on a story side, I wasn't crazy on it. It's not bad, but it just I didn't love it like I was hoping.
Yeah. No, I had someone ask me if I was going to be getting it, and I said, well, I haven't watched it yet to really know if I want to get it or not. And someone told me that it dragged.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then someone else telling me that it's really good.
Well, it's a noir, so it's not typical storytelling. So
no, and I like film noirs.
I feel like it was quite a typical noir story.
Yeah, well, I heard it's on Hulu or Netflix, so I'll watch it on there and then debate.
And HBO Max has it.
Oh, is it HBO Max? I thought it was Netflix.
Well, and Hulu. I don't know if it's still on both, but it was simultaneously on both.
But I don't think I haven't really I don't pay attention to the Oscar stuff, but I am taping it because I want to see how bad what's her name is hosting it, how bad she's going to be. I'm sure there's.
Wait, who is hosting it?
Well, it's 3 people hosting it, right? I think they're.
Oh, is it? Well, one of them is.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Amy Schumer.
Oh.
Oh yeah, she is one.
Oh. Yeah. But her level of humor.
I actually.
Well, I wonder.
Take it far.
Well, I'm just wondering how long it takes you to talk about her pussy.
That's what I mean.
So.
I actually like the Oscars.
Excuse me. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm just trying to be truthful in that. But
I personally liked the Oscars without a host. Was it last year and the year before they didn't do a host? I liked that. Mm-hmm. They kind of just tossed it around to different people.
No, like different people just kind of Yeah. Like, why not? I mean, that one shows you care about everybody in the industry, and you're not just favoring one person to do the whole damn show.
Wanda Sykes, yeah, that's the other one.
No, Wanda Sykes is damn.
She can be funny sometimes.
No, she can be funny. I actually do like Wanda Sykes. I do. I can honestly say that I do like her. I don't like everything she's done, but there are some projects that she's done that I find hilarious. So
Mike wants to
Yep,
know if
yep, I do. Johnny
wait,
Walker's their live streams together. They're a
Mhm.
good time, and I didn't announce it yet, but Johnny will be on an upcoming stream of mine in the future. So
Okay,
yeah, good guy.
nice.
but going back to Nightmare Alley, the one thing what I was getting at earlier is I don't know if it should be necessarily Oscar caliber for Best Picture. I don't know if it's that good or not. I don't know if it's that amazing. It's pretty good, but maybe for some, like you're saying, some of the technical categories. Now, the one thing I disagree with wardrobe, I thought his hat looked atrocious.
Really, I thought wardrobe was great.
Because, but his hat looked too big. In some scenes, he like wore it like way down on his head. It didn't look natural. It looked like just somebody from somebody from contemporary times trying to wear a hat from like the 40s. It didn't look like natural.
Yeah.
Because because we just don't wear clothing like that anymore.
Not anymore, yeah.
And in the 40s, it was typical for people to dress up to go in public, and so wearing a hat like that was natural. Or you just threw a hat on, and you had
it wasn't
probably
a ball cap, yeah.
Well, and you had a series of hats that fit you correctly, and a lot of men, you had specialty stores that sold hats, so they fitted you correctly, and that hat didn't look like it fit him correctly. It just looked like he just wore it low a lot, and I don't know. That's the only thing I took notice of that I didn't like.
Huh?
Okay.
It's funny because the type of hat you're wearing kind of reminds me of that era.
Yeah, a little bit. Not quite. It's not quite a Newsies hat, but that's a little bit. That's not really, I guess, the 40s. That would be probably the 20s and 30s more so. But
yeah.
But for Best Picture wise, so I got incredibly behind on the Oscar stuff this year. Like I'm still gonna catch up on everything after this. But
oh yeah, same here.
I've been finding myself the past couple of months. I've been diving more backward than keeping up on right now. So like I've only watched 3 of the Best Picture winners when I intended on more, but every time something came up, like one night it was going to be King Richard, and it's like, I don't want to watch King Richard right now. I'd rather watch this, 1980s movie. I feel like watching. So
yeah,
I just got a little behind on the Oscar stuff, and none of the ones I watched so far have struck me as like this is a Best Picture movie. Like
I mean, I enjoy King Richard, but I don't know if that's a movie
yet. So.
Well, I saw it when it premiered on HBO Max, so that's how I watched it. And I wanted to get the 4K, but the damn thing sold out, and now you can only get Blu-ray.
Yeah, I just got the Blu-ray, but I seen it in the theater as well.
Have the 4K for that.
It's a pretty, it's a pretty good movie. It's pretty good.
I'm definitely going to be watching it. I just, like I said, I don't know. It's some of that stuff is coming up, and it's like, no, I want to watch this older movie right now. I don't know. So I watched. I can't think what the heck the third one was. So I watched Nightmare Alley, Don't Look Up, which Don't Look Up didn't. That was not a Best Picture type movie for me. I didn't mind it, but it was just it was fine. That's the best way to say that.
Yeah.
I can't think what the heck the other one was. I saw most of the animated category. I saw all of them except for Encanto.
Oh, I saw Encanto. I do and don't like that movie. It's a mixed emotion type of movie, honestly, for me. Because I do like musicals, but there's something about this one I was just not head over heels for. So,
I'm looking forward to getting to it. And I have not seen Coda yet. That is, from what I understand, that's a front runner right now for Best Picture. So I'm going to be getting to that one soon. I have Apple TV Plus, so I can watch it. I just didn't get to it yet.
That's one thing that annoys me sometimes. It's that certain things you want to watch are like, say, on Apple TV, but you can't watch it, on any other platform. And then they never put it out on, like, say, physical media. So you're like, what the hell? How can I watch?
So that actually brings me to, I just recently picked up this. This is a bootleg.
Oh.
This was an Amazon Prime movie from, it was either 2019 or 2020 this came out. I want to say it was
Mhm.
2020. I
Yeah.
waited on a release, and it just never happened. So I said, screw it, and bought this bootleg. And if Amazon ever does decide to release it, I'll absolutely buy it. But
Mhm.
for now, I got the bootleg.
I do have
Did
like a couple made on demand movies.
did you like Licorice Pizza?
That's one I didn't
Did you
get to.
see?
No.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen most of it. I haven't seen Belfast, Coda. I don't because they're Academy Award stuff. I don't buy into the, even though
Well,
a lot of them are
Belfast I
probably
want to see
good,
though.
but
Belfast.
Belfast, Coda, Don't Look
Yeah.
Up, Drive My Car. I've seen Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley. Have no interest in West Side Story.
I have
Propeller
it, but
Dog.
I haven't watched it yet, only because it's been forever since I've even seen the original, so I don't really remember much of it. So watching this one might give me more of a reason to like it more, possibly.
Yeah. Well, that's something I actually love about remakes, whether you like the remake or not. More often
Some
than
I
not,
like.
it brings the original though to the forefront in people's consciousness, because there's a lot of times people don't even realize it's a remake. Say something
Oh
like
yeah.
Nightmare Alley, that's a remake. The movie isn't Criterion, the original. No one was, I mean, it's Criterion, so people bought it, but all of a sudden more people were talking about the original because the Del Toro version came out.
Mm-hmm.
There is good side to remakes, because if the remake is bad, just don't watch it. It doesn't affect the original.
Exactly. I agree. I was about to, that's something that I would like to ask you is what movies that you wouldn't mind seeing getting like a reboot or remake?
So this actually come up for, and I'm not going to pull the movie. I can find it right now. But all right, so Die Hard is my third favorite movie of all time. It
Okay.
is, to me, it's a perfect action movie. It created the whole everyman hero, essentially.
Yeah.
It's not like a muscle bound guy that can walk through walls, but I would be perfectly cool with seeing that rebooted, seeing, a building with modern technology, with newer
Oh,
security
with the way
systems.
everything is now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and kind of seeing how it would play out. And I think you could see someone like a Ryan Gosling or something killing it in a role like that.
Possibly.
So
I mean, I don't know about Gosling himself, but I mean, there's always that possibility.
yeah, well, like, when Bruce Willis got that role, I mean, that's straight off Moonlighting. The studio
Mhm.
didn't really want him initially. Like, he was not an action guy in the slightest. So people actually scoffed at the idea of him headlining this big action movie.
Like
So
Michael Keaton with Batman.
Yeah. So I could totally see someone that you wouldn't necessarily think of in an action role doing that, because it's supposed to be, an everyman that happens to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, but he's going to save the day. So
Yeah.
I would be all for a Die Hard remake. And like I said, third favorite movie of all time. So
what are the other two?
Second is Ghostbusters. Top one's Jurassic Park.
Really?
Yeah.
What makes you love Jurassic Park that much, though? Because I'm curious to know, because I have a top favorite, too.
Oh, God. So I guess first and foremost, that Spielberg magic is felt across the whole 2 hours of the runtime. I love dinosaurs, and just the dinosaurs are shot the whole way where they only take up a fraction of the runtime. When you break it up, the dinosaurs are only in this tiny fraction of the movie, but their suspense is overlooming over the entire movie. The special effects to this day still hold up fantastically, and that's the start of CGI, with the whole blending CGI with real, actual puppetry and stuff. I love the characters. I love the John Williams score. Honestly, it's a perfect movie for me. I mean, I adore Jurassic Park.
Well, I'll definitely agree that I would call it a favorite for sure. Because, see, my top favorite, John already knows this, and you might know this already just by looking at my account, but it's The Crow, starring Brandon Lee. And the reason why it's my favorite is the all-around story, the all-around darkness, the grim with it, the thrill of it. And it's the very first rated R comic book movie ever.
Yeah.
You know.
I was just gonna say Crow's fantastic. That's a great
and it's
one.
a gothic Romeo and Juliet if you really think about it.
Yeah. And it's incredible how they luckily, I mean, I can't say luckily, that's a terrible thing. With where he died within filming, it's amazing. They pieced together, they didn't just piece together the movie, they put together a timeless classic. You know what I mean? They reworked things and still they gave him, you know, a lasting legacy, essentially. So
I agree, because he was supposed to be for 3 films.
Yeah.
You know, and it's sad. Like, it was almost like he kind of fell in his dad's shadow because they both died at young ages. You know, I mean, I think Bruce Lee was like maybe 10 years older than when, you know, Brandon died. You know, I think he was in his early 40s, but Brandon was like early 30s, you know, for the time of, you know, age. And another reason why I love the movie so much is the music. Whether it's the bands that are playing in it or the actual score, it's a one of a kind. I haven't heard it replicated in any way, shape, or form in any other, you know, film.
Yeah. So I'm a huge score and soundtrack person. I did a stream like it was best composer, best decade for it. And
nice.
Actually, Movies with Ryan, that's in the chat. He picked the composer, if I'm pronouncing his name right, but Grammy Revell, he's the one that actually did the Crow score. So I didn't actually know the guy's name. And then he came out with that one. And also the same guy did From Dusk Till Dawn, among a whole ton of other stuff. So I just thought that was pretty cool. I was a composer that I wasn't aware of his name per se. So
I love scores. Yeah. I mean, I think one of my most recent scores actually was the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie, and I mean the actual score, not the, you know, Techno Syndrome with that, you know. But it didn't have that. It was literally just from the scenes where it was just the music. There's no singing, no nothing like that, and it's awesome to listen to.
Yeah, I love off to the side of me. It's all my CD soundtracks and scores, and then downstairs I have a record bin that's actually from a record store that closed down, and then that's just packed that has tons of scores on vinyl for movies. So yeah, I love that stuff. Can't get enough of it.
Like, what kind of 80s classic scores do you have?
A lot of the big stuff, like Back to the Future and Batman and Batman Returns. A lot of the staple stuff, I guess. Basically, a lot of what I buy. So score and soundtrack wise, Mondo is a massive company that's releasing them like crazy.
Mondo,
Waxwork Records. There's a label called Movies on Vinyl. They do a lot of stuff. So like basically whatever they're releasing, I look at like, oh, I like that score, I'm gonna buy it. But I don't have a whole lot of like original pressings from 80s stuff because you have to, at this point, you have to run across it in a record store. I don't really run across it as much. I have an original Temple of Doom and an original Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Nice.
Yeah, I have a lot of like the staple big stuff, I guess you could say.
Okay, yeah, because I have, like, say, Matilda, you know, the actual score for that. Yep. I actually have the score for Coraline, Never-Ending Story, Benny and June with Johnny Depp. I have that. And Tu Wong Fu.
And speaking of Coraline, I don't have Coraline, but I do have Kubo and the Two Strings, which I loved that.
Ooh, nice. That's one I would definitely like to get. I like Kubo.
Yeah, I thought it was an excellent one. I actually have like collectible wise for that movie too, which I don't think. Oh, it is in this room. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna grab it because it's really cool. All right. So back when Kubo came out, they sold this. It was exclusive. Like you had to actually buy it from Leica themselves.
Yeah.
And so that I like never see this around anymore.
Huh.
It's a cool little collectible, and I also have a. It was a print. It's signed by Travis Knight, who is the director,
Hmm.
and that was also like it was like a promotional thing from them. So I got
Oh,
those two
nice.
things. I loved the movie.
Interesting. Nice, yeah, because I'm a big supporter of the score soundtracks. I used to listen to the regular soundtracks, with bands, groups singing and stuff like that. And then I was just like, you know what? I want the score. I want to know the actual music. I don't want to just hear bands now. I want to hear it all. You
Yeah,
know,
well,
like who did what. Like I think his
especially
name's like Hans Zimmer or something like that for
Yeah,
Godzilla.
Hans Zimmer is amazing. His
Yeah,
Dunkirk is in my top 10 for movies. I love Dunkirk, and his score to Dunkirk is phenomenal.
nice.
But
Were you a fan of 1917?
oh, I love 1917 also, but there's just something. I think what hits with me more with Dunkirk is it is a war movie, but it's
Hmm.
also kind of not a war movie. It's not. It's more so about survival. These men
Yeah,
trying to survive. You don't see the enemy until the very end. All you see is bullets and stuff because it's not really about the enemy. It's just
and just
these
meeting up
boys.
with other teams. Yeah,
Yeah, these are young men that are there and they just want to get home. And
yeah.
yeah, I love that movie. It's very
It's a
light
good
on
movie.
yeah, it's very light on story, which I think a lot of people knock it for because
I'll give you that. Yeah.
a lot of Nolan movies try to get like super complex. Like Interstellar is heavy on story. Tenet
Oh
is
yeah.
super heavy on story, and Dunkirk comes out though, and it has very minimal story. It's just about these men trying to survive. But on the
The human
technical side,
element, you know,
what was that?
Yeah.
the human element.
Yes, yeah, the
Yeah,
human element. I loved the interconnecting way they told with air, land, and sea, and it kind of jumping back and forth. So you would see a plane crash in the ocean, and then you would see later on in the movie the ship with the men coming by the plane that crashed. So it was a unique way to tell the story.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Um, when we were talking about favorite movies earlier, because you already named your top three, already said my top one. I would say number two, Braveheart,
That's great.
and that. No, I love that movie, and I love the music to that too. Um, and Coraline, I would have to say, was my third.
Yeah.
Just, I think it's mainly the music that I enjoy from it so much. That's probably why.
Music.
I always enjoy Ennio Morricone did the Good, Bad, and Ugly, and did a lot of Western soundtracks,
Oh,
spaghetti
nice.
westerns.
Yeah. Well, I personally, and one of Morricone's biggest ones is one that a lot of people would attribute more thinking John Carpenter, but he did The Thing.
Yeah.
John
Oh,
Carpenter,
nice.
yeah, John Carpenter scored almost his entire filmography, but he did not do The Thing, and The Thing is one of the best scores in his movies. It's so good.
Yeah.
I wish I had more
Yes.
Morricone in my collection, though. I have The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and The Thing, and I have like this best of collection essentially.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about recent pickups. I mean,
Sorry,
kind
I
of
was
curious to
quiet.
know.
I'm not too interested in soundtracks and stuff like that myself.
No,
but
it's good. I mean, don't
myself.
worry about it. I'm
Got a lot of
surprised, even
vinyl.
though
Got a
you've
lot of
done like
vinyl. I
music
just
stuff.
don't. Yeah, well, I just never had much interest in it
Yeah,
too much.
I always think so. Did you ever see there's a YouTube channel, I can't remember the name of it, but they'll basically strip the music out of a scene. And if you watch the scene with the music and without, the
Hmm.
music drives your emotions. Like the music will be telling you how to feel before
Hmm.
Yeah.
the scene is starting to unfold. Like
Oh yeah.
music,
Well, that's
it's so
that's kind of it's like almost something that even science don't really understand how music affects people emotionally, because it
yeah.
can have negative and positive effects on our emotions and
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that.
I
So
mean, it does. It's more preference than anything, but
yeah,
but getting back to the whole
that's
new
why
pickup.
there's a science behind pop music. That's why there's certain beats and there's certain certain key changes and things in the way music is written, especially in the pop sense of things. That's why it gets people hooked on music. I think that's why hip hop's so big, because it's even though it's seemingly kind of basic, but it's like it's a very tribal like beat.
Yeah, I got what you
I
mean.
think I just lost my headphones.
But I was gonna ask, like, if you ended up getting the 4K of this bad boy.
No, so I have the Blu-ray, and
Oh,
it's hard to right now. It's hard for me to justify the other 40 to get that big box set one right now. When I have the box is exactly the same, so
yeah.
I might just wait until we get like the regular cheap release of it and wait till I get it for a good price, and then I can just
Oh,
pop that
you mean
in.
where it's just looking like? Hold on, let me get it out.
Yeah.
It's where it's just looking like that. Then basically,
Yeah, when I can
Yeah,
get
Star
that for a
Wars.
cheap price, basically, because
Yeah,
like I said,
movies with Ryan.
the box set is the same damn thing otherwise. And movies with Ryan, he is absolutely right though. Baby Driver, Baby Driver does not work without the music.
Star Wars is another one that's the music. It really drives the emotion of that movie.
It's crazy.
So.
There's certain movies where the score, all you need to hear is just a couple of beats to it, and you could picture the movie. You hear it, dun, and your mind immediately it's Jaws.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
and what I said, I didn't. I'd say I didn't collect soundtracks. I said I don't appreciate the music.
Oh no, I get that.
I just don't collect soundtracks to make myself clear.
No, I think pretty much any movie fan appreciates the music, even if they're not collecting it. It's such a pivotal part to the movie itself. It's hard to not.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with that, because it's totally a part of the film, regardless. Especially when it comes to, like, say, horror movies, thrillers, psychological movies, and dramas too. Just that emotional feel, that you'll get from the movie. You'll either cry, you might be angry, you might get pissed off, you might want to throw something at your TV, but hopefully we don't do that.
Yeah, it's crazy when you think about, you could watch something like Friday the 13th, and all it takes is you just see the camera view and you hear you know someone's about to die. Like right then, the music is telling you shit's about to go down, someone's gonna die.
Oh, especially with like Halloween, Michael Myers, Yep. Oh my God. I mean, yeah, I didn't used to appreciate the scores at the time until I got older, because like I said, I was mainly listening to the actual like bands that were on soundtracks.
Yeah.
So
I have a lot of those the actual like soundtrack stuff where 90% of it is music inspired by, and almost all of that is not actually in the movie. I'm not crazy on that stuff, because it's basically just like a compilation CD. It really doesn't have much to do with the movie, but I do have some of them. Like I love the End of Days one, even though very little of that music is actually in End of Days.
Yeah. Wonder where Jody is.
Trying to think of the name. Have you guys ever done the experiment where you like replace like with like Pink Floyd with like
a psychedelic type of video?
No, Pink Floyd and I went blank there for a second. Oh shit, Stanley Kubrick. if I can.
Trying to think of the movie.
I go blank on stuff all the time. I joke around that
I'm bad. I'm bad with names.
Stanley Kubrick. So like 2001: Space Odyssey.
Yes, Space Odyssey. I don't know what the hell. But yeah, there's the very end of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now this isn't Wizard of Oz and Pink Floyd, but there's another place where there's speculation that Pink Floyd may have been contracted to actually do the soundtrack at one point in time, and this was like some kind of leftover. But they have Pink Floyd has an album called Metal, and there's a song on there that if you line it up at the right point, where the points where it hits at, it might just be coincidental, but the points it hits in just about the exact right points. It just feels like it's made to fit. That whole end sequence where he's like he's in the death sequence, and then he goes through like the portal, and you got all the it looks like they're like warping through time and space scene. It's where it's pretty incredible how well it lines up with it.
That's pretty cool. It's cool to hear that type of stuff. A lot of it probably does just line up with just coincidence, but pretty cool.
Thank you. I'm being very forgetful. Thanks for the comments. I'm not being very good tonight, but everybody else is. So
That's all good. I just love talking movies.
No, same here.
I picked this up as well. Hopefully, it'll look pretty good. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh,
I popped that in. I bought that back when it first came out, and I popped it in to check the picture quality.
Yeah.
And just I've seen the movie before, but I just didn't feel like watching it at that moment, and just never got back to watching the 4K. But it looked great from the little bit I looked at it.
That's good.
it's a good movie.
That's a good era for transfers. For some reason, 80s movies transfer up pretty good. I believe it's just because they're still in good condition. They were probably more than likely stored with some thought behind it. You know, like some of the older movies, the way they stored a lot of things. Some of the things have been destroyed by fires and things. There's always some kind of fire breaking out in Los Angeles and destroying everything.
It's a shame to think that I'd say a good chunk of what came out in the 1910s, and even into the 1920s. So what is it? Something crazy like 80% of the movies don't exist anymore. They're just gone. That's crazy to me.
No, yeah. I heard rumors that Gone with the Wind is going to come out on 4K. Or was it Casablanca? One or the other.
Casablanca was rumored, and I'm all for that. I freaking love Casablanca. That is a fantastic movie. I've not seen Gone with the Wind yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
good.
I think it's just that it's almost a 4-hour runtime, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a long one.
I just never sat down to watch it. But Casablanca I do love. I have an awesome statue I can show you real quick.
Go for it.
One of my favorites.
Cool.
I missed out. There was a Humphrey Bogart one that went with this, but I missed out on getting him. But at least I got her.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm big into collecting statues, and I collect a lot of different movie-related stuff, posters, and all that stuff too.
I will too. What movies would you like to see get a 4K?
And that's a tough one because I'd have to legitimately think, because I'm lucky enough that my favorites keep getting 4Ks. You know what I mean? So you think about my top favorites, they all got them. I love Blade Runner, that got one, so I've been very fortunate with that.
Yeah.
But I think I would have to really think about it, because I adore the Evil Dead series, and the only one missing is Army of Darkness, but supposedly Scream Factory is working on that, so that'll be coming.
Yeah.
Shit, I don't know off the top of my head, because like I said, I'm very, very fortunate that so many of my favorites. I love Hitchcock stuff, and Hitchcock movies we're getting Volume 2 coming up.
Yep.
I would say I do really want Rope. That's one of Hitchcock's, and that's not announced for Volume 2, so hopefully Volume 3. It's a fantastic movie. When 1917 came out, there was all the hubbub about it being a one-shot, and one-shots are awesome. Rope is a one-shot, but back in the 50s, when it was incredibly harder to pull it off, Hitchcock had much larger camera equipment in a small confined space, and he was somehow able to make it work and make a one-shot movie very convincing. So I love that. I think it's technically the first one-shot feature film, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think one of my favorite transfers is the like Monster Universe movies.
Yeah, they're
something
freaking great.
something interesting about early cameras too. I'll get a little technical on you. This is, I think, come out from a Hitchcock documentary, but old cameras, a lot of people didn't understand is the viewfinders on an old camera didn't work whenever you were actually shooting film. They would actually block off the viewfinder. So a shot had to be set up and choreographed before it was actually shot. So like for example, like new cameras, if you can look through the viewfinder while you're shooting film. In these old cameras, you could not do that. You had to set up the shot, and then like there was a viewfinder on it, but after you started running film, you had an offset view. So the cameraman had to know where that offset was when he was shooting the scene. So like some of those beautifully shot scenes Hitchcock put together were just the cameraman had to be and the cinematographer had to be just absolutely brilliant. And you just don't even today. Everything looks great. Everybody, but in the older movies when you had great cinematography, especially in the back in the 133-to-1 aspect ratio, some of those are the most beautifully photographed movies ever.
Yeah, there's I didn't get to watch it yet, but there's a documentary about making the shower scene in Psycho. The entire documentary just about making that shower scene, and I believe it goes in depth on how they pulled off the camera angles and how they made it as suspenseful as they did. I definitely got that at some point.
Huh.
Hitchcock was brilliant, though. That guy is one of the best directors to have ever lived.
I think the movie that documentary I'm talking about, I think it came with Sabotage. I do believe. I think it came with that Hitchcock movie. So
I think it did. I think with that first volume, I think that did come out with it. Did anybody get this?
Not that version. I have it's up sitting up on my shelf, but the big box set one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Three Ninjas even have a Blu-ray?
No.
Ice Cream Man. Oh man. That doesn't even have a Blu-ray yet either, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Don't tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. That doesn't have a Blu-ray.
Actually, that's one I'd be okay with even just a Blu-ray. Like a 4K would be great, but I'd be thrilled with a Blu-ray. That's an excellent movie, and if you guys watch it with Adventures in Babysitting, those movies pair so well.
Yeah.
Well, Adventures in Babysitting, I know that one I wouldn't mind seeing getting a 4K.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I'll take 4K on everything. If they'll give it, every single movie is deserving of a 4K. Even garbage movies, everything should come to 4K.
Well, I know. I mean, like movies that didn't have Blu-rays for the longest time are now getting Blu-rays.
Yeah.
Like Cool World was supposed to be one of them, but didn't come. I don't know what happened.
The past 2 years have been as terrible as the world has been.
Yeah.
The physical media has been booming. The amount of like Paramount coming in, and Paramount's been releasing stuff like crazy.
Yeah.
And they gave us the Paramount Presents line, which is fantastic. I have almost all of the releases for that. And they're going 4K coming up with The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Getting so much good stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's a great movie. I just can't keep up with all the stuff coming out. I've got a lot of things on Blu-ray and DVD and stuff, so as long as I have some form of the movie or Laserdisc. So, I mean, Laserdisc definitely has to be upgraded to at least DVD, but as long as I have a movie to some degree, I'm happy with it.
I feel very lucky and happy, though, that so much of movies that I've been waiting on for a long time, that in the past 2 years, they finally came to Blu-ray. Like The Last Castle. I waited on The Last Castle for freaking years. That finally came to Blu-ray. Yeah. I was waiting on Dead Man on Campus. That's a fun one. That finally came. Breakdown. Breakdown is a great movie. That Imprint released it. I imported it,
Yeah.
and then it comes to Paramount Presents. So I waited on Mothman Prophecies. Imprint released that. So I've been getting a lot of the stuff I really have been hoping for. It's been coming. So
Yeah.
I've been very happy with the past couple of years for physical media.
I keep harping. I don't know why, but for some reason I want Gleaming the Cube. I don't know. It's just one of those movies I liked when I was a kid.
A lot of people want that. That comes up a lot. I feel like a Vinegar Syndrome or something could nail that release and it would sell crazy well. So I'm wondering if it has to be a rights thing holding it back or something because it seems like an easy sell.
Yeah. That was a couple years ago. Whenever people were leaving those comments on Vinegar Syndrome's site, I think that's when Rag came out, and they asked whoever was buying. I guess they do it whenever they do a sale. They ask, well, what movies would you like to see on Blu-ray, or see transfer it up, and that was on there several years ago. So it's kind of weird. I can't believe Rag got a 4K.
Yeah, it just completely skips DVD, just comes right to it came to 4K first, but then Mill Creek gave the Blu-ray. So that's what I have. I have that Mill Creek Blu-ray, the Steelbook. But there's it's been so damn good. And looking over at my shelf, one that I would love to see get a 4K, it was just because it was near me. And The Rock is great. This would be a really cool 4K.
What is that? Oh, The Rock?
Yeah.
That would be a good one. I'd like to see Edward Scissorhands get one.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, if I could pick some stuff, a lot of the early Blu-ray stuff, I'm talking like 06, 07 into 08, there are some very transfers in those days. So if not 4K, I would love to see new releases.
Like new restoration.
Yeah. New transfers done on them. Because there's just a lot
I can get behind that.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of iffy stuff from those days.
Well, what was that now? The early days of Blu-ray?
Yeah, like the 06, 07 into 08. Like they're still getting their feet wet on what to do. And nowadays it's pretty much a given. A Blu-ray is going to look damn good, but there's some stuff from the early days. It's really not that much of a jump over DVD.
Yeah, it was just hit and miss. I mean, some things that they were really good transfers, and then some things that looked like they just stuck the DVD transfer on there. It just was disappointing.
Or stuff that they tinkered with so much with like DNR with the first Terminator release was awful. They DNR'd that to hell. There's a lot of stuff from the early days that they went overboard with DNR.
Oh yeah, I would definitely say so.
I don't know, Ethan. I don't know much about that, but I know there's like rights issues with Nightmare on Elm Street, as far as I know. So people that know more about the horror, a little bit better on the horror, but that's what I've always heard for the last couple of years.
It has to be coming. I can't. There would have to be something massive holding it up, I would feel, because it would sell crazy amounts. Like there's too much money to be left on the table. I feel it's just.
Oh yeah.
Even if we don't get a 4K box set, even a Friday the 13th style box set, like it would sell incredible numbers.
Yeah, it would.
I don't know if you guys remember when the Friday the 13th one went up. It was, I can't remember the amount it was limited to, but it sold out of its limited allotment so quick that they upped the production amount on it.
Yeah, it did.
So
yes, it did.
Yeah, everybody got that.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
There's too much money that's not like some obscure franchise. There's too much money on the table, so I have to believe it's coming.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, you already got Halloween, at least the first 5. I know they haven't done the others, but
and Halloween at least has like nice full box set too.
I heard a rumor that the first one was coming to 4K.
Toxic Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was someone I was talking to. He was saying that possibly Vinegar Syndrome, which would be the first time that Trauma and Vinegar Syndrome work together, I think,
Mm-hmm.
which would be interesting. I would
Yeah.
definitely get that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Did you happen to enjoy the transfer of the Beastmaster with Vinegar Syndrome?
I didn't get that.
Oh, you didn't get it.
Nope, didn't get that. I
Huh.
did get
I thought-
to love Dead Heat though.
Hmm.
Dead Heat was fantastic. But yeah, no Beastmaster.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna get it at some point. I don't place Vinegar Syndrome orders too much. Like I'm behind on some of the stuff. I need to order Drop Dead Fred still. So next time I place an order, I got a bunch of titles to put in.
I got the original Drop Dead Fred UK one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I may pick that up eventually, but I'm the same way with Vinegar Syndrome. They don't. I don't know. I'm just not into buying a lot of that, a lot of the horror stuff. I'm like I say, I'm not a big horror person, so I'm not interested in picking a lot of this stuff up. But they do have some interesting things. I do have some things, but from them, but not a lot.
I like that they're starting to dive a little bit more into the bigger but forgotten movies. Like I said, Dead Heat. Dead
Oh,
Heat's
yeah.
a full on studio movie that with big stars that just kind of got forgotten. So
Oh yeah.
that's pretty cool. So if they do more stuff like that, kind of just 80s stuff that just kind of forgot. But
Oh yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if Vinegar Syndrome did like say, "Look who's talking."
oh my god, that would be something. Yeah, yeah. No, honestly, with what they've been releasing lately, it wouldn't shock me any of that stuff they release. Like, not even within horror. Like the Drop Dead Fred announcement was surprising, but I mean, we knew it was going to come from Severin initially, and Severin's a horror label, so a horror label was
Mhm.
going to release it either way.
I know that the movie with Kevin Bacon, She's Having a Baby, is coming out on Blu-ray.
Yes, finally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Forever.
I'm a huge John Hughes fan, and
Mm-hmm.
been waiting on that one for a long time. It's crazy. John Hughes only did 8 movies in his career as a director.
Mm-hmm.
It feels
Oh
like
yeah.
Yeah.
feels like he did more, but just because his name is attached as a writer and a producer with so many different movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Because I mean, he was a part of the project of Home Alone, but he wasn't the one who directed it. It was Chris Columbus.
Which is so yeah.
Yeah.
He's the one that spearheaded getting Christopher Columbus, and
Yeah.
without that happening, Chris Columbus isn't around to direct Harry Potter, and then so you got to wonder what kind of start does Harry Potter get off to without John Hughes, essentially. Like it's one of those like this event,
Mhm.
this event type thing. So it's
Oh
interesting
yeah.
to think about.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I love the work of John Hughes. So far, there hasn't been like a movie that I hadn't liked that he was a part of. I mean, actually, I take that back because he did the Home Alone 3, or at least he was a part of it in some way. Now, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it, you know.
Yeah,
And I don't know. That one's one of those, like, I'm not sure how to feel.
yeah. But his big stuff though is some of my favorites, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I
Planes,
love
Trains,
that
and
movie.
Automobiles.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So when that movie came out, he was already
Weird
this
science.
absolute rock star. Like by '87, he already had Weird Science and Pretty in Pink and
Yeah.
16 Candles, like
Breakfast Club.
Yeah, major stuff. When he made Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, he was trying to do something so different. And that whole scene where, I want a fucking car with 4 fucking wheels, like that whole scene in the airport,
Mhm.
didn't exist initially. He added in just because he wanted an R rating, and he's John Hughes and he could do it. Like if you watch, nothing about that movie is R rated besides that single scene.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you heard about the possibility that, well, I think there's pretty much proof that there was a much bigger script and there was
Oh, yeah.
more scenes filmed because
Oh,
there's
like a director's cut.
yeah, well, we'll never get the director's cut, but there's been hints that there actually was more film shot because of, from the trailers. There's extra scenes in there, but there's Well, people have found the script. I think the script exists, but they don't know if everything was filmed. But is hints that some of the alternate scenes were filmed in the movie.
Yeah. So I actually watched about that. There was a scene in a ice hockey rink that was actually filmed with John Candy. People had like their own footage. There's John Candy on the ice and stuff. So like there is other stuff filmed that just never made it in, and that'd be super interesting to see. You know, a director's cut down the road, because even say they did find exactly how he wanted it to pan out. Bringing this up again, but Orson Welles was already passed long before this reconstructed version came out. They basically made the movie he wanted after his death, because he had everything kind of laid out how he wanted the movie to be. So,
Oh yeah.
If there's anything like that, John Hughes had notes laying around or something like that, you never know, I guess.
Yeah, because with Orson Welles, you know good and well that the studio purposely fucked with that movie after he shot it, because they hated him they just hated after Citizen Kane. If you got to know about it to understand it, but
they murdered that movie to start with. The original cut, it's missing so many story beats in it, and it's like what 30-40 minutes shorter, missing a whole ton of plot points. It's not that great. There's a reason it bombed initially.
Yeah, I mean, and people still love it today, though. Regardless. So
the reconstructed cut, though, is what a lot of people have been starting to love. That came out in '98. That's the version now a lot of people have kind of been attaching to, because that's the one that Orson Welles wrote like a 42-page, like I guess short book essay, whatever, to go to the studio. Like, no, this is the movie I want, not what you're making me do. This is what I want.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of sounds like the issue with Warner Brothers and Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
I mean, initially that's what it is what it is, I mean, yeah, we had that bullshit other Joss Whedon version, and then of course, Justice League.
Well, I mean, essentially, after Citizen Kane, he essentially blacklisted himself. He basically, the studio blacklist, not himself. He got blacklisted, essentially, not because of communist affiliations, because of the subject matter of Citizen Kane, the undertones of what it was about. And so after that, the only way he really got to make any Hollywood movies is when he had, people like Charlton Heston or somebody like that pushing for him to direct it. Yes.
Yeah.
People, he had big names, actors essentially saying we want him to direct this movie. Other than that, everything he made was independent. He had to raise the money. That's all he did after Citizen Kane, except for the Magnificent Ambersons, which was butchered as well after he finished shooting it. But after that point, he pretty much was a hustler. That's all he did is hustled money to make. And what he made, for what he made things for, was brilliant. Yeah. But he rarely did big Hollywood movies just because they wouldn't work with him.
Yeah.
One of the most brilliant people in cinema, maybe ever. But we never really know his full potential because he didn't really get to have budgets.
Just think, screenwriter Dalton Trumbo was blacklisted, and how much stuff he did without even using his real name. He wrote under other people's names. I can't ghostwriting. He wrote under other people's names because he was completely blacklisted in Hollywood at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. That's the film noir kind of underground had a lot of people like that. A lot of those writers for film noirs were blacklisted writers.
Yeah.
No.
Did anybody get over a John Hughes vibe when they watched Beethoven?
Well, he's part of the producing and writing on that.
I wasn't sure if you knew that or not, because I just watched a YouTube video on the 10 things you didn't know about Beethoven. And that happened to be one of the things they were talking about, is that Yeah, John Hughes was in it, but his actual name is not credited. He has like an alias in the
Yeah, he
credits.
wrote under another name.
Mhm.
He basically in '94 ostracized himself from Hollywood, moving back to Chicago, I want to say it was, and started
Mhm.
up a production company with a friend who was still in LA. And that's what he would write stuff in another person's name. I can't remember the name, but
Mhm.
yeah, they worked together on a chunk of pretty big movies. And then he
Oh
just
yeah.
kind of completely vanished. I mean, from '94 on, he didn't really grant many interviews. People didn't really see him. He wasn't in the public eye.
Yeah. Kind of makes you wonder if he's actually still alive, because if he was trying to seclude himself, you
Faking
know,
death.
yeah, people do it.
Yeah,
I mean, people do
yeah.
it.
I mean, yeah, it happens. I mean, if the real story of like him actually, he just went out for a walk and had a heart attack and died on his walk. Like that's sad.
Mhm. It
But
is.
I love his movies though. So it's a
Yeah, because I saw a
fantastic.
documentary of like these group of people trying to. I can't remember the name of it. It was like Finding John Hughes or something like that. But
Yeah,
I watched
that
it,
was
and then that's how I learned.
yeah. So this is a really good book recommendation. I had this actually sitting next to me. I
Nice.
also collect a lot of movie books, so I have a lot of this stuff. But there's a really
That's
good
cool.
book all about him.
That's awesome. So, how did your
Have you?
name Tim Talks Talkies come about?
Uh Basically, other than the fact that I'm Tim, so many YouTube channels and I came from Instagram actually first. I was doing that, and so many things have Blu-ray or movies or different variations of that in their names, which
Yeah.
is fine. But Talkies is just another way to say talking movies,
Uh
and
huh.
no one really uses that. So I felt like, hey, it's kind of original. It's the term is ancient, but it still works today. The movies we watch today are still talkies. So
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. And
Yeah, I
what
don't.
got you into collecting?
uh so I had an interesting collecting ebb and flow. So
Hmm.
up until I worked my first time at 16, I didn't own anything that I purchased. It was all like I had tapes from my uncle passed. I got his whole tape collection. And other than that, I would take bicycle trips to the library and I would rent from the library, or I had a Blockbuster like a half a block away from me. So I was able to go to Blockbuster and stuff. That's how I fed my movie love. And then when I started working at Long John Silver's, I started buying movies like crazy. My entire paycheck would get blown on DVDs. And I hit a certain point, it was about the time of Ultraviolet coming around. And
Hmm.
stupid me was like, you know what? I think digital might be the future. So I did that whole like Walmart disc to digital thing with Voodoo and all that. And I sold most of the collection. And I regretted that very, very quickly. And
Hmm.
basically restarted up the collection and have been working on buying stuff I had and then buying the new stuff. So I really regretted that decision. It was a terrible decision, but apparently I'm not the only one that did that. I've talked to enough people that kind of made that same mistake. Is they in the beginning they really hyped up that digital as being the future, and it kind of did through rose-colored glasses look like it might be. It's not
Hmm.
until you actually saw as stuff is going, hey, these movies are getting removed and you don't know what services will have the movies. In the
Hmm.
beginning, it didn't feel like that. Do you know what I mean? There was all these grand promises of your movies will be in this digital locker forever and you'll be able to access them everywhere. And I know I I learned that pretty quick, especially when shortly after we did that whole thing, we were super tight on money, my wife and I. Enough we're
Hmm.
like cutting bills and we cut the internet bill just to I mean that's like $70 cut off the month.
Yeah.
So we then had no way to watch our digital movies. So that all of that culminated into saying basically fuck this digital stuff and I'm going back to physical 100%. And now I don't buy anything digitally anymore. I hardly even use my digital copies. And
Oh, same here.
I do use the streaming services, but mainly for stuff that is exclusive to them, because I mean that's all you're going to do, and for a lot of times for TV shows. So like I'll buy the show and I like having it in a collection, but sometimes it is easier to just go on Netflix and click play for the TV shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've
Yeah,
been,
I've been, I've been watching a lot of TV shows. I just recently reacquired Hulu, and I've been watching like Married with Children, and I have that whole series, but it's so there's so much of it. It's just easier to watch it on Hulu than to. But the thing is things are getting censored though these days.
they
And
removed
that's
episodes and yeah.
that's why it's important to have some of this physical media because not so much. I'm not saying they necessarily censored that show, but just things in general are starting to get censored, and you never know something beloved to you might get treated that way. So if you have it on physical media, you're always going to have the original, at least the original version of it for the most part.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
not to mention whenever, if ever, it gets taken down, the whole show.
Yeah.
I mean, or even people were subscribed to Netflix and loved The Office. The Office is one of the biggest sitcoms going, or not going now, but it's one of the most streamed sitcoms. And when that switched over to, what would it be? This Peacock now, right? I think it's on Peacock. But
Yeah.
whenever
Oh,
it switched over, people were in an uprage because, I can't watch The Office anymore. Spend the fucking $60 or $70 and just buy the complete series. It's really,
And it's a
not
lifetime.
yeah. You then own it.
Yeah.
It's yours.
A one-time fee, not a reoccurring one.
Yep.
Yeah, I
You can
don't.
pay-
Where
Oh,
do
go
you
ahead.
think the future of streaming services is going to go? I mean, because it's not feasible to keep on getting new and more services, because you eventually start paying more than you're paying for cable.
That's what
What people,
we've already basically hit that tipping point now where if you can cut cable and you're still going to spend as much as cable subscribing to all these services.
Oh,
where
yeah.
all of these services now have their own exclusive shows, and a lot of them are releasing their own, bingeable hot show. It's hard to keep
Yeah.
up with stuff. Like you really you'll be spending $60-$70 at least just subscribing to all these damn services. So I don't know. I just pick
Or a little bit more if you don't want ads.
yeah, I actually subscribe to the without ads on the stuff because I can't take it. I hate
Same
the
here.
ads.
yeah.
I already have to deal with it on, YouTube. I'm not doing it other places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to check out that new Halo, but I'm not.
that's right.
I don't want to get. I don't want to get a. It's Paramount Plus.
Yeah, Paramount Plus.
It used to be CBS All Access. Now they've changed. It's like all the services. They've changed their name about 3 times.
Yep.
And I don't really want to get Paramount Plus because they've destroyed Star Trek. And it's just not the same. And I just don't like to support CBS.
The best Star Trek going right now is actually not Star Trek. It's Orville.
Oh,
Orville.
Yeah.
Orville captures the magic of Star Trek. It's so damn good.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well,
wait for the new
Star Trek is not Star Wars, and they've tried this Star Wars Star Trek for the last several years. The movies, the J.J. Abrams movies, he tried to make it Star Wars, but a lot more action. It's not about action. It's about it's just about space exploration and like kind of the human element. I don't know. I'm sorry, that's not a good description, but it's not.
No, I know.
It's not an action movie. It's not they're not action based TV shows.
It's more about diplomacy than pulling out your
exactly.
lightsaber. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it is. I agree with that.
I love Star Trek though. I've always been a Star Trek over Star Wars person personally. I love them both, but
I was about to say I like them both.
Yeah, but Star Trek.
Yeah.
It's just the one I prefer more. That's all.
Well, the original stuff. I like the original and Next Generation and Deep Space Nine.
See, I loved Next Generation because I like Patrick Stewart, and Patrick Stewart was what got me to like Star Trek because I didn't really know the old stuff as a kid. I knew more that than I did the old stuff. So when it
Yeah.
came to learning about it, that's when they started like mixing, the Star Trek movies with each other, where you have the original cast with the new cast in one of the movies. So
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah,
I got to know it.
What I loved
Did you
about,
like Voyager? Did you like Voyager very much? I'm sorry, I keep breaking. I keep
Oh,
cutting you
no
off.
problem. No problem. Yeah, I liked Voyager. I wouldn't say it was my favorite one. Like Next Generation is always going to be my favorite, but yeah, I
It's
actually
hit and
liked.
miss.
I liked all iterations enough. It was. I wish I still had the poster, but I went to a Comic Con, like I want to say it was like 2010 or something like that. But I got to meet all 5 captains and had them all sign something. It was this big poster and had them all in the corners, and Shatner was in the middle. That was so damn cool. I have the memories of it, but I don't have the poster anymore.
I liked Enterprise a lot. I don't know why. I like that. I've always been I'm kind of a sucker for prequel stuff, and I like, and I always like this telling of that story.
Yeah.
I think some elements of it I like better than like Voyager. Voyager's hit and miss. Voyager got better whenever, and not just because Jerry Ryan was hot, but just because I think it got better whenever 7 and 9 came onto the show because
Mm-hmm.
7 and 9 replaced another female actor, and I couldn't stand the actor, and especially what they did to her. Kind of made her like this god-like person at the point, but I'm not going to get into it any deeper than that. But I like that. I like when Jerry Ryan replaced that other girl. It just the show got a little bit better because they give Captain Janeway. She was kind of Janeway's what's the best way to put it? She kind of stood up to Janeway a lot with her decision making, and I never, and Janeway, it's not, I have any problem with a female being the captain. She was just annoying sometimes because they always had her like sitting around drinking coffee or drinking tea and always had reading a book. Like she was always like really pretentious in a lot of scenes, and pretentious, excuse me. I misspoke there. Pretentious a lot of the times, and she in her holodeck, when she did her holodeck stuff, she was like Leonardo da Vinci's protege. Not this. It was like very silly. So when 7 and 9 came on, she was like her. I guess you'd call it her antagonistic side, and she kind of challenged her more, and it made the dynamic a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool if we got a nice Blu-ray releases for everything. Nice Blu-ray.
Oh yeah.
sets.
Yeah,
I think Next Generation does have a Blu-ray set.
Next Generation is fully out. So is the original series.
Deep Space Nine is the one that needs because that's the best series of all of it. I mean, to me, but it's Next Generation, and that's a pretty close contender.
From what I understand, from what I was reading about them when they were doing the transfer for Next Generation, the amount of money that has to go into it, because they had to, the way the shows were shot and then pretty much put to tape, they had to redo all of the special effects from the ground up. Yeah. And that is so much money. So that's probably what's holding back anything else, because the commitment, and are you going to get the sales to recoup all that? I don't know. Yeah. I feel like that's partially what's holding back. I would love Buffy to come out, and the special effects would need to be worked from the ground up on Buffy, and I don't see them doing that.
Yeah, they screwed up a lot in the 80s and 90s by taping stuff instead of filming it.
Yeah.
Southern Cinema. Looks like we got Jody on here. He's been asking about Jody. I'm sorry, I haven't. We've been talking. I haven't been able to cut in and say, but looks like Jody's here. So.
Oh, there we go.
Jody. Hey guys,
there you are.
What's up?
I just texted you too on Instagram.
I saw. Right as I was entering the all the digits to get in here, I was like, I'm coming. So what all I miss in the past 2 hours or so?
Everything.
Everything.
Might as well just leave. No.
Yeah, I understand.
Now you got a super fan in the chat here, so hopefully he's still around. So
Uh-oh.
Southern Cinema 35
I don't know.
Cinemas
She's great.
35.
She's really nice.
Nice. What's been going on? Sorry.
Yeah, just been chatting.
We've all been down this road. I should just sit here. I'm sorry. I'll see y'all when it's time for the giveaway. It's cool. Ah,
Yeah, we just
any
been chatting
good?
Yeah, she says she's still
soundtracks
here.
and Star Trek and all different types of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Orpheus,
Oh yeah.
Wells, lots of stuff.
Alfred Hitchcock, all that. Yeah.
We've been all
Nice.
over the place.
We're talking about new releases too. Jody, I know you got this one because you shared on TikTok, and I was about to bring this one up next. If anybody got that Hunger Games
Yes.
Steelbook collection.
Yes, I did.
That turned out nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was
I-
decently surprised.
I actually released back when the Kingsman set came out, and I got like railroaded by some people who thought I was, reading too much into it. But the Kingsman set didn't have dividers in between
no.
steelbooks, and I personally hated that, and I thought that was really lazy of the studio to do that.
Yeah.
This is a great set. It has dividers. It's a nice hard, glossy and matte box, and the steelbook.
Oh yeah.
So I love it. I think this is a great release.
Yeah, I actually I came across. I don't know where I got it. It might have came in with like a bundle purchase, but I had one of the protector sleeves, but it didn't have a either end, so the steelbook could slide right through it. And so I took that, and I took that Kingsman, and I used that for the middle one. And so when the other two go in each side of it, it kind of gives it a little bit of protection, so they're not like rubbing directly onto each other.
Yeah.
So I was kind of able to fix that problem.
Yeah, what I was trying to tell people though, and like
How much are you guys watching these movies where you're sandpapering off these steelbooks?
I know, right?
it's kind of like a principle thing, because a steelbook, people that are buying steelbooks are buying the collectible aspect of it. Like you could buy the Hunger Games in 4K considerably cheaper than buying this. So you're buying this for the collectible aspect. So to not package something to keep it up to collectible standards is lazy to me. So it was more so a case people were telling me solutions around it, and I appreciate the solutions, and I actually put the what do you call them, turkey bags or whatever, the bags now.
Oh yeah.
But as a collector, I shouldn't have to find workarounds because of your packaging.
What was the studio that did what was the studio behind the Kingsman? I can't recall offhand.
I can't tell.
I don't have the movies, so I couldn't tell you.
I can't see from here. Crap.
The rain is gone. No.
Oh, that's why.
Now, my Best Buy had the Hunger Games. I'm just not a big enough fan of it to really buy that set. I don't know. I might turn around and buy it, but for like $80 or however much it was, $80 or $90. I think it's $89.99 for that thing.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm that much of a fan of Hunger Games. I don't know.
The Kingsman was technically.
I don't hate them, but I just don't. Not my favorite.
20th Century Fox, so Disney.
Oh, Disney. Okay. Yeah. All right.
There's why.
Yeah. There you go.
We're gonna make it as cheap as possible and charge you so much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what. So when I made like a short little reel about it and posted it to TikTok and stuff too, but like I showed the Indiana Jones. So the Indiana Jones one, the outer box is a piece of garbage.
Oh yeah.
Junk.
I have it behind me.
Yeah. So it's either like what's better, to have a nice hard outer box like Kingsman without dividers, or a absolute shitty outer box but it has dividers?
I think as long as it had dividers, it'd be okay, but a little bit more sturdier than what this piece of shit was.
That's such a cheesy box.
They did the same thing in the Back to the
what
Future.
happened to like say poster artwork and shit like that, like they're doing now?
Yeah. Well, what blew my mind with that set is I understand with maybe certain things you want to cut the corners because the sales might not be as much, so maybe you want to keep the price down. It's freaking Indiana Jones. I mean, you could have made that set $120 some
I know.
set, and it still would have sold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I didn't
Indiana
even bother with that
Jones.
set.
Like they could have done an Ark box set.
Yeah,
That'd been cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean,
Well, the Blu-ray set's much nicer.
Oh yeah. I've got the old Blu-ray still.
I'm trying to find it here now.
That's why I didn't understand
I
the
don't know where the
cheaping
hell it
out
is.
on Indiana Jones. It makes no sense.
Well, they've never given Back to the Future. There's not a release of Back to the Future that's had a box that's worth of crap. From DVD through Blu-ray to the 4K.
You got to go premium. They did overseas, had a really nice, it was freaking huge. I think it was on Amazon, like UK and other sites like that. It was a nice box. But I mean, it contained the same steels that we got from Best Buy. But yeah, like some premium labels put out some good boxes for Back to the Future. But yeah, I was the regular Everyday Joe box set that came out for that was trash too.
well, when it say example for Back to the Future, because I said use an Ark for Indiana Jones, why not for Back to the Future actually use a model DeLorean, but big enough for like say maybe slipcover type of movies or even steelbooks, but done in a nice collectible way.
I do kind of take that back. I forgot I did buy this release of Back to the Future. That's
I had that Blu-ray. I had that one back in the day. That was a good release.
Well, what's nice about this is it comes with the cartoon all in one. I think the cartoon did the cartoon come with the 4Ks?
No, that's why I was actually just going to pull this because I'm keeping this because it has the cartoon still in it. So this set will stay in my collection along with the 4Ks.
Ah, damn it, the battery don't work in this anymore. So I was going to light it up.
That was the coolest. It took me forever to hunt that one down too. I went to like 3 different Best Buys before I finally found that box.
Sometimes the hunt is what makes a lot of this stuff.
You just got to stand up sometimes, but that was a much sturdier box.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, one thing I think they could have done with, like, say, this set, The Godfather, a little disappointed, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, no joke. I'll take one out.
Videos, not in person yet. But.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so here's the first one, I know, but it's like little cheap cardboard.
All 3 edition got great artwork, but yeah, they could have stepped it up on the packaging.
They could have done steelbooks.
Yeah, see, I've seen that one.
Yeah,
that one was crazy.
I like it a lot. It's a really cool set.
That's about the size of the Ford at Fox collection. John Ford at Fox collection. It's like a big old gigantic box like that. A lot more movies. But.
Are you talking about? Hold on, I want to see if you're talking about. Let's see, this.
No.
You're talking about this Fox collection, or?
Oh, that's cool though.
No, I'll show you. Hang
on.
I like that. I like that cover. That was a good cover.
Yeah. Yeah, I picked that up actually at FYE a while ago. It was like way clearance down. Its original price was $299 or something like that. $75.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
It's all DVD set.
Oh, nice.
It's cool. Oh, that's all right. But so Godfather is exactly the same.
It looks cool, but it's kind of shitty once you get
it.
Because it's just cardboard pages. But a lot of a lot of movies.
That's what Godfather is too. But the book, it's an actual like book that transitions into then the cardboard sleeves that hold the movies.
Yeah, like they could have done, like, say, each movie as a digibook in some way, where it's like a little short story of how the movie was made or something like that, or even little tiny behind-the-scenes stuff, whatever it may be. But they could have done more with this. I mean, I'm glad I have them, don't get me wrong, but I'm sure later down the line they'll come out with something a little bit more better. And when that happens, I will get it, but I'll probably keep this as the watchable copies and just keep the other one as the collectible, so to speak.
Yeah. But those, like I said earlier, those transfers though, they're freaking great. It's they're really good.
Yeah, I've seen some side by side images on those from the Blu-ray and the 4K, and it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Well, the
it
forfeit
really
to
is.
American Werewolf in London turned out really good too. I watched it the other night.
Yeah, hopefully, like I said, I'll get that once I can get the standard release nice and cheap. Just
Yeah.
shove it right in that other box.
I did pick that up. This isn't anything special, but I did pick the steelbook up for that because
Oh, the Matrix.
It's
because
nice.
I already had the trilogy steelbook, so I had no reason to buy that box that come with all 4 of them.
Well,
Who all seen that movie? Have we talked about that on here? Because
We haven't talked
Resurrection.
about it. I think it came up one time. I still haven't watched it because
Yeah, me neither yet.
I never I didn't see any point of it. And nobody has really convinced me that there was even a point. I own it. I can't say, I had the other 3, so when it came out I bought it, but I don't know. I feel like I'm already going in not liking it because I don't understand why it needed to be made.
Well, it was kind of made almost in that same for the same reason as that Fantastic Four movie got made back in the '90s. That John Carpenter Fantastic Four, because it was basically like the studio basically was going to make the movie without the Wachowskis. Is like, you guys make it or we're going to make it, and they basically had to make something.
Yeah.
But I do like the first. What I was going to say, I like the first couple chapters in the movie, at least the first couple acts, because it's like all the meta stuff, where the movie's kind of self-aware of itself, essentially. I won't tell it too much since you haven't seen it, but I thought the third act kind of falls short. I thought they kind of needed to end the movie, and it's kind of over with really quickly after the setup. They didn't
want to make another trilogy. They're like, all right, we're just gonna knock this out in one movie.
I gotta give thanks to Jody real quick. This one right here, the Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Yeah, I didn't take it out of the plastic. I literally put it in a protective casing. So this one I may not open, and I'll just use the other one as my actual, viewing. Yeah. This will be my collectible, and then the other one, because I bought it because I lost out. On this one the first time.
Yeah, I was happy to see that come back, because I know a lot of people hated missing it. A lot of people were paying stupid money on eBay for it. So I was excited.
I was not.
I know.
Yeah.
What was that again, Charlie?
It was a 4K Roger Rabbit steelbook.
Oh yeah. No, I didn't buy the steelbook. I think I just bought the regular 4K for that particular one.
Yeah, I will say the 4K slip looked a lot better than the steelbook. I was a little disappointed in the artwork on the steelbook, honestly.
What was she referencing? Is this the new Wonder Woman 84? I don't know. What did I miss?
Oh, the artwork on the steelbook?
I guess. Yeah.
Or maybe the quality of Matrix Revolutions compared. Wonder Woman 84 was not a good follow up. Maybe that.
Or Resurrection.
Yeah, Resurrection. Yeah.
Yeah, I've even seen some clips online of just short 2-minute clips of the movie, and I don't know. It just seems I just still don't understand why we needed it. So
I watched it, and I felt how you feel right now. Was it really worth doing? And in my opinion, it was not needed.
No,
it was definitely not a needed one.
No, hell, I mean, to me, honestly, the 2 and 3 weren't needed. I thought 1 was great. And I like how it ended.
With you on that.
Yeah,
I love how 1 ended, because it's still it made you want more, but at the same point, you didn't really need to tell much more of that story.
Well, that's how a lot of people feel that the second and third movie are not very strong movies.
No.
Yeah.
Now the Animatrix is awesome. The Animatrix, that stuff needed to be told, but that's all you really needed.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So the way I look at any sequel that comes out, a decade or so after, really isn't needed. They're all I mean, movies are a business. It's all made for money. They see dollar signs. That's what they're going for. It's all about the execution of it, where regardless if it's made for money. I love Ghostbusters Afterlife was in absolutely no way needed, but I thought it was a great sequel. It was made with the intention of money, but it was incredibly well made. It was made with love. It was made with care. I thought it was great. So as long as you have a good story to tell, I don't give a shit if it's made for money. It's all made for money. None of it's really needed.
I don't know. I don't
And
know how to answer that, but
I could show.
I
There's
enjoy
a
it.
couple recent steelbooks I picked up. It's
Oh,
not
did you
a
snag that?
new
You
release.
snag that off of Zabby?
Yep, that
Yeah.
and
Mm.
that.
Those are great additions. Yeah, man, everything Blue put out some amazing stuff.
These were cheap as hell. They were like $30
Yeah.
some or something like
Yeah.
that. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, they were blowing them out of there.
Tim, have you done any of Jody's group buys yet?
I won so far.
Yeah.
I won more, but last night in Soho.
That's going to be a
Nice.
good looking release. I cannot wait to see that in person.
I jumped on that.
What's the one that has the crazy like collection that you were showing as a group buy? It was a certain title where you were like, "This is going for a ridiculous amount of money," and you're
that was that film arena Back to the Future. It was stupid. It came with so much crap.
What was that, John?
No, nothing. My headphones cut out again. The headphones just turn themselves off. They don't.
Interesting.
Yeah, they just started doing that here recently. They just shut off.
That's no good.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a wired set, so I don't have to worry about it.
So I'm going to bring up another recent-ish purchase. This one's not a steelbook. I want to see who's seen it. This is the 1997 TV remake of 12 Angry Men.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
So I think I've seen that.
So 12 Angry Men is one of the greatest movies ever made. It's phenomenal script. The acting is incredible. This, I honestly, besides the lack of originality, because it's basically the same script, is just as good. Like you're replacing great actors with other great actors.
Yeah,
right.
A fantastic story. Yeah. So I mean, on my Letterboxd, I gave this a 5 because in good conscience, if the original is a 5, this does nothing worse besides just not being original.
Wait, who is in that one that you're holding?
So we've got Courtney B. Vance, Ossie Davis, George C. Scott, which he is phenomenal in.
Jack Lemmon too, right?
Yeah, Jack Lemmon plays Fonda's character, and he is incredible in it.
Oh my God! So then that's the one. Okay, then I have seen that one.
It's so good. James Gandolfini, Edward James Olmos. I mean, it's a stacked cast, and this is a William Friedkin movie too.
Oh yeah,
so it's a fantastic director, an incredible cast. It's honestly, this is a case of where the remake it's just as good. It does not a single thing worse than the original, other than the fact that it's not the original.
Right.
Well, and it makes you think, like, the whole term remake a movie, it's like, does it really have to be like so different to where you couldn't do it like, say, the exact same, but just kind of give it more modern day look? You know, I mean, it's like, what's wrong? Like, say, copying kind of like 12 Angry Men, almost the exact same way, but just give it new actors, of course, and then new looks, and that's it.
Yeah, it's just kind of seeing the movie through a different lens, essentially.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it hits all the same story beats, but I was still just as enthralled as with the original. The whole, throwing the same knife down on the table, like that scene is just as good in this remake as it is in the original.
Oh yeah, like a movie that I wouldn't mind seeing as like a remake or a redone type of style is Legend with Tom Cruise, Tim Curry, Mia Sara.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing that kind of get of a more modern cinematic, vision and see where you could take it. Both like maybe CGI and practical effects it's like the perfect movie to mesh it together.
Yeah. No, that'd be cool. I'm never someone that is against remakes because, like I said, the original is always there. So I'm for them. It's
kind of like Scarface.
Yeah. Sometimes the remake, the Scarface that everyone thinks of, is a remake, but there's a lot of people that don't even realize it. So I mean, that movie is considered like a mob classic, and it's a remake.
Oh, and The Thing.
Yep, that too. So yeah,
There's a
cases,
lot.
Yeah, there's cases. Well, actually, The Departed. The Departed is also a remake. The one
That one is?
the 2006 one. Yeah, that's a remake.
What's that? Okay, is it the same title?
No, hell is the title? I can't think what the title is. Maybe someone in the chat would remember what the title is, but it is a
I
remake.
can't
Though.
remember it.
Huh. Okay, I never knew that because I like The Departed. I really enjoy that one.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Yes. All-star cast, hell yeah. You know.
Yeah, there we go. Infernal Affairs. Yes, that's it. Movies with Ryan.
Oh, there you
Nice.
go. Yeah, I'm surprised. The one movie that always comes to mind when people start talking about remakes, and because you could literally just take the film and just update the technology and the kind of the story behind it. But The Last Starfighter, like, why has nobody done that?
Oh
yet?
yeah.
Because that today, I think if you made that right, that would be a hit today.
Oh yeah, like borderline high school, college kid, just kind of
Yeah.
one of those stays at home kind of gamers maybe.
Yeah.
And doesn't necessarily have a life, but he does have a girlfriend and she's kind of fed up with his ass, kind of thing. I could totally see it with new stuff.
Oh yeah. I'm just so shocked that nobody's done that yet.
I don't know if it's going to happen, but so Gary Whitta, he's a screenwriter. He's been doing a lot more video game stuff lately, but he is the guy that wrote Rogue One, Star Wars Rogue One. And he also wrote
nice.
He's been working on a screenplay that would be a follow-up to Last Starfighter.
Yeah,
that's right.
A sequel would be amazing.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, so that would be cool if that ever does happen. That would be really cool because he's a damn good screenwriter, and I think he can kill it. Because Rogue One is one of my favorite Star Wars movies, and
That's a good one.
Oh yeah,
it's so good.
They're supposed to be remaking Flight of the Navigator, don't they?
Oh yeah, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah, there's talk that they're wanting to do. I don't know if it's a remake or if it's a sequel.
It's a reboot these days. Probably no telling.
Yeah, I mean, a sequel would be kind of cool. Have the ship come back for the kid's kid. Something like that. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, it'd be kind of cool to hear Paul Rubens be the voice again and meeting up with the kid, huh?
Yeah. Having Paul Rubin come back would be hilarious.
Oh yeah, I mean, why not?
Heck yeah, I'm all over it.
Have the original, kid David. I think the name was David.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. See, where his family's at in life, and say Max has to come back for a different reason, and he actually needs his help for something.
Yeah.
Because back then, it didn't seem like he needed his help. It was just more like he was kind of sampling creatures from around the universe. I mean, at least that was the message I got from it, because he had all those little creatures on board.
Yeah.
And I gotta rewatch that. That's been quite a while.
He's like, I gotta think about that.
Yeah,
it's a good one. And Starman.
I love Flight of the Navigator. It's definitely I would call that a favorite too.
Yeah, that's in my top when it comes to my childhood films. Flight of the Navigator's there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
A childhood movie I remember well that I don't think it has a Blu-ray yet. Unrelated to all those movies, but I would love Radio Flyer. Did you guys ever see Radio Flyer?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Tom Hanks narrating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dark story, but it is.
It's a good movie.
It's a
very
wonderful
good
movie. I don't think it has a Blu-ray yet in any region.
No, it doesn't.
I would buy that up in a second.
I can tell you what does have a Blu-ray though.
Red Sonja.
Red Sonja, but it's an overseas Blu-ray, so it's not a U.S. made item.
Yeah, I'm all good with importing. Sometimes you gotta.
Yeah, sometimes you have to.
I
got What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
I didn't watch this yet. This is a brand new movie, but this is Paul Verhoeven's new movie.
Oh, nice.
I imported this as a German media book. It's all in German.
But, I love media
I'm thinking
books
of buying
Germany.
Princess Bride and Neverending Story on 4K through the Amazon Germany.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Amazon Germany has crazy good stuff.
I got a few things coming from there. I've got good news for you.
Hmm.
Radio Flyer is on Blu-ray. You can get it on Amazon for $22.99.
No, Back to the Future does not need to be remade.
Radio Flyer did
No,
come to Blu-ray?
stop it.
Radio Flyer
They
did
got
come
one
to-
on.
Absolutely not. It wouldn't.
Let me look at that because
Definitely.
I tried looking that for a long time.
I've got it right here. I can have it here Tuesday.
I got to look at that. Hold on.
That snuck
'Cause
under
I've
my.
looked on it before.
I'll buy that after
Always.
the stream.
I always
That's the
take a
case.
gander when stuff like this comes up during this show. I always take a little gander over here on Amazon. But yeah, I'm trying to see what year it was released on Blu-ray, but they're not giving me that information right here.
Well, another one I imported.
Oh,
I just
shit.
got beforehand. This
It came
I
out.
need-
It came out in April of last year.
All right, damn. I need to order, or I'll have to order that.
Motherfucker.
You guys ever
Shit.
seen this one?
What was?
Oh
the-
yeah, Double
This
Jeopardy.
doesn't have.
Oh.
This doesn't have a U.S. release. Yeah, I'm ordering that right after the stream.
It's good. Everybody order it quick
I'm
before
going
it
to
sells out.
post this.
Hell
But,
yeah, man, that's awesome.
What movie are you talking about, Jody?
It's that Radio Flyer.
Radio
It's got
Flyer.
a-
Oh,
It's got a Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
It came out. It came out in 2020.
Yeah, that's snuck right under.
So 2 years ago then.
Yeah. Who
Okay.
said? Who was saying?
It's like that. It's like that Men at Work that Blu-ray that double set that came out. I don't know. It's like 2015 or something.
Yeah.
But Men at Work and Easy Money, they came out on like a double like Shout Factory Blu-ray and never been re-released since. It's out of print.
Yeah. The minute work that I have came from what country did this come from? It's not a steelbook. It's like it's a media pack.
Yeah.
I don't know where this came from though. What did you do? Germany. Of course, it came from Germany. Everything good comes from Germany. Don't tell the Germans.
But that was especially when it came out. It was definitely in an era where I was more, very intense on keeping up what the new stuff was, and never seen it. And it would have been definitely something I would have bought. It makes
Right.
no sense.
Yeah, so I mean, so many releases come out. Sometimes things kind of just sneak by you.
I hate it when that happens because there's actually another Blu-ray release of the Super Mario Brothers that I didn't even know what was out because I knew there was an Italian one, but
There's a
I didn't see
second
anything
site
else.
release. Yeah, there's a second site release. I actually just picked it up.
Oh, you did? Nice.
Yeah,
So the live action movie?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
didn't get to watching it yet. It was from I think I got the order in a little over a month ago. But
Nice.
I got to order a new region free player because my region free player kind of shit the bed on me, so I got to get a new one.
Yeah, I was able to score forever ago. The second site put out a steelbook for it too, with that crazy ass artwork.
Yeah. Second site stuff is incredible. Like I ordered
I
that
love it.
big drive.
Oh yeah,
set.
I can't wait for that drive set.
So nice. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Like I like
I'm sorry,
collecting
what-
stuff, but I tried to be reasonable with my money.
Oh, you have to, or get a Best Buy credit card and then just wish it all goodbye.
Yeah, basically, because then
Going
you'll
to
be in debt for fucking ever.
So we do not. I do none of the purchasing with credit. So that's sometimes I can't get certain things. But what I do utilize a lot, I don't know who uses it, but you ever use PayPal Pay in 4?
Yes,
Yes,
that comes in handy.
I love it. Like if you just you don't have the money just quite spare, but you could spread it out over 8 weeks. Oh man, I use that a lot.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Like Hot Toys.
yeah. That's like the only way you can buy Hot Toys is spread it out over 4 payments.
I've never
Yeah,
bought a Hot
basically.
Toys, but I follow people that do, and they start paying for it like 2 years before it comes out.
Yeah, I've got a couple on pre-order now, and they just kind of like you put it on pre-order even though it's due out like next year, and so you don't even get the first payment doesn't come out for like 6 months after you hit pre-order, and then it's like $50-something a month until the item's actually available.
Yeah, it's region free. Just to answer her
Okay.
question, it is region free.
Okay.
That's always a bonus.
Yeah, imprint stuff is fantastic.
No, so if Hank's still in here, I didn't mean to be so blunt about Back to the Future. I personally don't like remakes, but
Yeah, I was going to go back to this.
But but I mean, there's some things that don't need to be remade or rebooted, and
no.
like Red Dawn was one that did not need to be rebooted.
No,
and like they extremely screwed up when they did that, because they originally it was supposed to be China was the enemy, and China said nope, we control too much of Hollywood, you can't do that. So they had to change it they had to go reshoot like all the uniforms. They had to reshoot a big chunk of that movie to make it North Korea.
No. Ghostbusters is my second favorite movie of all time, and I mean the 2016 movie is bad. Like it's bad. I tried giving it another chance, and it's bad. I just ignore it now. It's whatever. I mean, we got new releases of Ghostbusters around the time that it came out. So
right.
I mean, it helped in its own stupid way. It's the hatred for that movie is what drove Afterlife to getting made. If 2016 didn't exist, Afterlife probably doesn't exist.
You got a point, definitely right there. I know that there's other movies that I'm excited for, though. I was just thinking of the movie right now, and now it left my mind, so I can't really say what it was.
I don't know. I mean, I think Ivan Reitman and they kind of kicked around the idea, and Dan Aykroyd had kicked around the idea of making that movie for a long time, and it had went through different versions, and I think it had kind of, by the time 2016 came out, it had kind of died. But you're right. I mean, the hatred of that movie kicked it back into high gear.
That's just, I feel like if the 2016 never happened, I still think we're in limbo waiting on another Ghostbusters.
That's very possible. I know Aykroyd was kind of, so when 2016 hit, he kept pushing that it's not a remake or a reboot. He was trying to push for like this Ghostbuster universe. Like he wanted different Ghostbusters all, and I'm just like, you're really reaching here, buddy. I don't know what to do.
No.
But I'm really liking at the end of Afterlife. I like that there is a future that could be like really, really good, if they do it right.
I don't want to. I haven't made the video yet. I'm still compiling footage, but I'm going to make a video on a lot of the issues I have with the movie. Not so much issues, but it has like technical issues. But the movie kind of negates itself at the very beginning of it. Like the whole movie it doesn't make sense if you look at one scene at the very beginning. At the very beginning, when Egon is leaving when he's being chased at the very beginning, you see that entire, you see the cataclysm. It's happening at that time, so it makes no sense that he has those traps set up to hold in the forces of the afterlife. But that's erupting out at the very beginning of the movie, so it makes no sense that it's that the proton pack, he's got that proton trap set up, and they discover it. Well, that wouldn't be happening, but that's happening at the beginning of the movie. So the whole movie kind of negates its whole self. It kind of it makes itself irrelevant. It's weird.
Imagination is a bitch. We'll just say that.
I got so sucked into
it's the truth, though.
The nostalgia, the characters. I honestly, there could have been the biggest, most glaring potholes in that movie, or like it. I loved it. I loved.
No, I liked it, but it's just
I love what they did with Egon. I thought the way you were able to incorporate him after, like, without having the actor was tremendous. I applaud how they made it work with being respectful to the character. It was I loved it so damn much.
And the ending effects. The ending effects were just
it's all right. It's got like continuity errors and stuff in it. Got like shitty filmmaking for as long as it sat on the shelf. It should have been more polished. I mean, I understand that, like, but they finished the movie and they probably weren't allowed to go work on it because of financial reasons. But as long as it sat on the shelf, it was kind of not very polished for. And that's been the case with a lot of these movies that sat around for 2 years during COVID. Some of them are crap. That movie's not crap. I mean, I enjoy it, but it's still a nostalgia grab with all these movies are, especially since Spider-Man. We're going to see it a lot. And I think that's what's happening to Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange has had a bunch of reshoots, and they're going to add some kind of nostalgia bait into it. I guarantee it.
I'm excited for Multiverse of Madness.
But that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm excited to see it too, but it got a bunch of reshoots after Spider-Man, and they're probably going to be adding some stuff into it that is just it's going to be some kind of, just like in Spider-Man, just a nostalgia grab. Everybody's doing that.
Yeah. I mean,
just because it was successful financially, yeah. I guess it makes sense, but it sucks on the filmmaking side of things. It's like we'll get a couple of years of it, but
right.
No, I mean, I don't want to bust people's bubble. Ghostbusters was, it's like a masterpiece compared to 2016.
Oh yeah,
it's good. It's just like, I don't know. I find sometimes I
didn't even hate the 2016 one.
So some of my problems with 2016 were so the movie isn't funny. That's just a problem of the idea now where everyone has to improv everything instead of actually just writing a good script. But I wish
it's very slapstick. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I wish though there was no reason you couldn't have had the women be daughters or descendants and still had the original movies happened. You know what I mean? Like if they tied it in and kind of kept the same basic idea, but these were,
an atmosphere.
Yeah, just everything, like it just didn't work. I mean, nothing about it nothing worked.
No, it didn't. I mean,
$120 million budget, something like that. It was a high budget.
Well, and I agree that they could have done that whole Descendants route and not make them the way they were, because they could have kept that darkness, grim of the original. The first one and the second one, they were both comedies. Regardless, they were comedies, but they were comedies that tried to take something on a real level.
Yeah.
And the 2016 just didn't do that. They just decided to make jokes about every goddamn thing in it.
So, I joined the first. The first does have its own really silly stuff with the ghost blowjob, but everything is just it's
That's right. I always forget about that scene.
It's better than a queef, but
yeah, you know how hard it is when I'm showing my kids that movie and that scene comes up. My brain goes, "Hey, remember this?" And I was like, "Oh, damn, no."
But
I find myself being a hypocrite to my son sometimes on watching certain things, because I was like, I saw worse at that age. What the fuck am I thinking?
Yeah. 80s horror movies, Jesus Christ. I mean,
and he saw Return of the Living Dead and he hated me after it because he was the one who picked it.
Well, 2016, it's almost like they just tried to make Bridesmaids with Ghostbusters. If they tried to make Ghostbusters Bridesmaids, and it just didn't work in that setting. Bridesmaids hilarious. That's a hilarious movie, but it just didn't didn't work for Ghostbusters.
Paul Feig is talented. Show Freaks and Geeks is a phenomenal show.
Yeah.
The guy can make good comedy, but just his interpretation of Ghostbusters just didn't work.
No. And they know it because they didn't include it in the box set. So
I'm curious to know if you
copy. Yeah.
Because they argued because everybody bitched so much about it. They were like, okay, fine. Have it on digital.
I'm wondering if you guys know this movie at all, because it's a recent pickup. It's called The Zero Theorem.
I think I saw it on shelves, but I don't know anything about it.
I was hoping someone had seen something.
With Christoph?
It says, Christoph Waltz.
Yeah. Huh.
I read it and it
familiar.
sounded interesting, so I was like, why not?
Inglourious Bastards. He's amazing in Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah. He's in Glorious Bastards. I could see his face in like 3 movies right now, but I can't remember the names of the movies.
I'm trying to think.
He was in Alita, Battle Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a movie that needs a sequel.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
They're leaving us hanging.
Oh
on that
yeah,
one.
why didn't they?
Well, it's set up. I mean, there's plenty of material out there from the manga, but it's just I don't know if it will or not.
Do you guys think Avatar 2 will actually come out this year?
No.
Supposedly, there's a trailer on Doctor Strange. That's what they're saying.
Supposedly.
I don't even care.
I don't either. I'm over it. I was over it 5 years ago.
A long time
with
ago.
you. I started that. The first one was on TV the other day, and I was just watching. I was just like, "This is actually awful." Like, I was like, I don't understand. It looks it's like people in a video game, and I'm watching it. I'm just like, this is. I get that it was made for 3D, so watching it not in 3D is probably what's bugging me. But
what's funny is that when I watched Avatar, I compared it to 2 movies in general, and it made total sense. That's one of them.
Oh God!
And
it's all coming together.
And Fern Gully.
Fern Gully, he says. Oh God!
I just don't understand why
he had to be accepted by their people. That took place. He had to earn their trust. This and that. It was the same freaking thing, but with a Dances with Wolves, theme as well.
I still don't I don't understand why he's wasted all that time not making anything new.
I know.
Just to do that stuff. It don't make any sense. And I mean, like you're saying, it's not. I don't understand what world needs to be explored that we hadn't explored in that first movie. It doesn't.
It's James Cameron's personality though. Like he made Titanic and went pretty much falls deep into everything Titanic for the next decade leading up and then to Avatar. Like he fixates on something and then just runs with it. So.
I think it's funny. I've been rewatching Entourage here lately. I have the Blu-ray set of it, and James Cameron shows up in Entourage for a few episodes because he's directing Aquaman in Entourage. Right. And this is way before the Aquaman came to.
Yeah.
But it's just it's kind of funny. But even I think Avatar may have even been out way back then. That's like when did Avatar come out? Like
2010 or 2011.
I was thinking 2009.
Okay, well, this would have been before then. So
I was working at Blockbuster when it came out. So
yeah, Avatar I don't know. He just said,
"Oh
yeah," because he was supposed to made Alita. I mean, that was his movie. He was going to make it, and then he got tied up in all this bull crap and decided he didn't want. He passed it on the project on.
Was it? We're making 5 of them now. He's making.
I think it's like 5 movies total. Yeah.
What I see happening is 2's going to come out eventually, and it's going to do decent. It's not going to do Avatar 1 numbers at all.
No.
And then 3's going to happen, and it's not going to do shit. And so the studio is going to be like, dude, we've thrown all this money at you. You still got 2 more to go, and 3 just bombed.
Yeah.
Throw it up on HBO Max. Let's see what happens.
That was
or Disney Plus, whoever the fuck owns it. But
it's Disney Plus.
It probably would be.
Yep. Is there a release for Top Gun yet?
It's this year, isn't it?
I haven't looked. It's supposed to be, but it's got changed. Like
you mean that new one that's been delayed
for like 2 years?
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's one of the ones when Warner Brothers was pushing a bunch of DC. I think it got put. I might be thinking of something else.
At one time, it was February, but then it obviously has changed from that. And I quit looking for it.
Yeah, that's another one. I don't care anymore. It's been so long.
That's what I keep saying. Like a friend of mine I go watch movies with, he really wants to see it, and he just keeps talking about it. And I'm like, by now I just don't care. I don't care about it, and and it's going to bomb. It might bomb at the box office because of that. Because nobody cares anymore.
I almost feel like they should just eat and put it with streaming with it because it's not gonna. The general consensus is nobody cares anymore. It's been delayed way too many times.
That was 86. It should have been released in 1990. I mean, it's just
Oh yeah.
I would have cared then, but not now.
Well, I
It's
mean,
just-
I'm interested in see what they do with it. It's just not
Oh,
interested.
I'm very interested to see what
I'm-
the hell Val Kilmer's going to be doing in it. I have no idea what that's all about.
Yeah, because I heard he's in it.
I'm thinking it's just going to be a deathbed scene. That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be a deathbed scene, and we're going to be his
Wow,
funeral.
Jody.
I'm sorry. Like I love that dude. I love that dude so much. I wish that there was a way he could come back and fulfill everything that he was doing in the past, but he can't right now. And he's limited to only so much he can do. So and his scenes were filmed 4 years ago now, and
yeah.
So why did you even sign him up to that? It's gonna be just like it's gonna be hard to watch.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah. When is the new Mission Impossible? Also, what's the gap
that's a good question.
between Top Gun and Mission Impossible?
Yeah, this year sometime, isn't it?
Oh God, is it?
Sure.
I thought Mission Impossible got like delayed a bunch because they kept having COVID issues on set.
Yeah. There was even audio of Tom Cruise getting pissed off at the workers.
He was angry. Little man mad.
Little man mad.
That's what I'm excited for, though, because that's a rare franchise that kind of feels like it just keeps getting better. Like it's made its own identity now as like this big action set piece movie, and they do really well. Like I like the fact that Tom actually does most of his stunts, and in the filmmaking, like I enjoy them a lot.
You know what's sad is the one that gets the worst as it goes is, can you guess? Franchise.
Fast and Furious.
There we go.
Yeah.
Fast Five is my favorite though. That I loved Fast Five because it's a heist movie. I enjoyed the heck out of that one. But yeah, after
it's a good one.
Yeah, after Fast Five, it went downward.
Oh yeah, and it's funny when you ask people which one's their actual favorite though. Most people will say Tokyo Drift.
Really?
I do love Tokyo Drift also.
Yeah, like the people I talk to.
You want to see a shitty box? This is the Blu-ray of the original Mission Impossible series.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the flimsiest shit box I've ever seen. You can see, and this is how the inner boxes they're all right, but it's just like the inner boxes are actually kind of nice, but it's just like horrible. The outer box is so terrible. I mean, literally, when I flapped it around, you couldn't tell, but that's like...
Yeah. I completely agree with Southern Cinema on Morbius also. That's been delayed enough, and they're showing trailers. I don't even care about Morbius at all.
I heard they already gave it away, though.
I don't understand what they're... We are definitely not getting the movie that we all got a trailer for at the first trailer.
No.
We're not getting that movie at all. And it sucks because every comic book franchise that Jared Leto has dipped his toes in, he's gotten like completely screwed on. But he got screwed on it based on the editing. So, he made a good movie, I'm sure. But then the studios are like, no, we want to add this, take away this. It's too long. Let's take away 30 minutes. And it's just,
Well, everything Marvel got pushed back. Everything got pushed back. Some got pushed back over a year. A bunch of but everything in Marvel's been pushed. So
yeah, I think we're finally gonna see what happens when this Sony Marvel team up and Sony kind of tries to do their own thing and try to make it make sense, and Marvel's gonna be like, I don't make no damn sense, y'all. So I don't know.
So
what's
far
with
Spider-Man, they've done pretty good, but I mean, I don't know about the rest.
Yeah, but Sony can go off like Morbius and Venom. That's 100% just Sony, and Marvel's got like a little bit of a producing thing in it, but they've got a lot more control with Spider-Man than they do all these other Sony projects of Marvel's.
The end credits in Venom 2 is like the only thing that tied in like MCU wise.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing all this multiverse stuff. They're going to have license to do about anything they want.
Pretty much. It's going to get it's going to be fun for people that keep up with it, but it's going to be confusing as hell for your everyday movie.
Yeah, it is. Especially if you don't keep up with it.
Yeah.
Because you're
do
like,
think
when did that happen?
Yeah.
I'm way behind on the MCU and all the superhero stuff, though. I feel like I've been thrown, like, so much superhero stuff comes, and I've hit the point where it's just like I'm not as excited anymore. So, like, I didn't see the new Spider-Man yet. I have the Steelbook ordered, and I'm gonna watch it once I get the Steelbook in. But I don't. My excitement level just isn't there with superhero stuff lately.
Yeah.
It's back 10 years ago when you were getting, a couple a year. It was like, okay, I'm excited, but now it feels like if you're not watching them, you're watching the limited shows on Disney Plus, and it's like there's just so much. I only have so much time, and there's other stuff I want to watch too.
Well, they hijacked nerd culture, so
Right.
and exploited it, and it's about to run its course. I have a feeling. I mean, Spider-Man still did good, but they're starting to destroy these movies. They're starting to get kind of bad, and so especially on the Marvel side of things, that is like nothing Marvel's released in the last year has been that great. I'm not talking about Spider-Man, I'm talking about from Black Widow up. It's not been very good.
My problem more with the Marvel ones is like it all feels so similar, which is what they want. They want they want everything to feel the same, but they hire these really good directors, and they don't feel like their movies as much. If you know what I mean, like as much as DC can be an absolute train wreck with their movies, something like Joker would not exist by MCU. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, go make this Joker movie, and it's its own little standalone movie. That's
God, and that was a great movie.
Yeah, so like I wish Marvel had some stuff where they just let a filmmaker just do their own thing instead of a Kevin Feige that is like, nope, I'm the puppet strings. You have to do all this.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting because this is something they've been doing. Is basically they're making the movies without directors. They're basically doing basically the CGI work. They're basically doing the bulk of the movies without a director, and they're just hiring. Sometimes they're just hiring people just so we can have a woman's name attached to the movie, or we can have this. Well, we can have we can check a box and make the movie, but they're attaching people to these, and they're coming in and maybe shooting like the human element scenes, some of the stuff that don't, and then they're just. And then this has been confirmed by actual directors saying we come in, we don't have nothing to do if the movie's already made, essentially.
Yeah, there is a lot, especially when you watch these behind the scenes on the Blu-rays of Marvel movies. There is so much that's CGI that honestly didn't even need to be. And so you could definitely tell they could just change things. I mean, they do it in the trailers. They here, look. 2 people are gone. You don't even see them now. Ha. So it's just, they're definitely going crazy with the CG. It looks good because you're fooling me, but it's still, it's pretty scary. Honestly, you could do so much with CG after the director says, okay, I filmed my film. Here you go.
It went downhill with Disney because when Disney got involved with it, and it was just Marvel making the movies. It was still kind of, they were making big budget movies, but it was still kind of like it was small budget filmmaking. It was still like
I know what you're saying.
The directors had more input, but when Disney got involved, they started making movies by committee. They started, thinking out everything. It's just like they started doing in the early 70s with television. They all started being focus groups and marketing and how they can sell it the best, and that's what Disney's done. That's what they're doing with everything. So that's why stuff is getting the way it is. That's why we're getting, the politics and stuff in there that's not needed. That's because they think, well, we're going to appease a certain group of people, and we're just pissing off the fans, really.
Right.
Instead of. And it's just a lot of crazy stuff going on in that right now. Hopefully they right the ship before they try to make an X-Men movie or the Fantastic Four, and I don't think they're going to. And they have those franchises out there that would be huge if it's done well, if it's done right, and they have not touched them yet. They keep throwing out these characters that nobody gives a crap about. Miss Marvel and all these failed comic books that's been basically created in the last 10 years. I mean, Miss Marvel's been around a long time, but with the character Kamala Khan and all this stuff, all these characters suck, and the comic books failed, and they're just making them because they have the rights to them. Because they've been, like I've told you last week, they're basically their comic books has been made within the last 10 years, so they have complete control over those characters. They don't have to go back and pay the old, the people who wrote the old ones, the people who drew the old ones. They don't have to pay residuals to these people, so they're just making all this new stuff, and then they can say, oh well, we're making the comic book, we're making them based off these comic book characters like the fans want, but they're making these shit stories that nobody cares about, and they're yeah.
Wait a minute.
Well, how's the Death of Wheel going?
Oh yeah, it's about time to do that. The Wheel of Death.
Sorry, I've been ranting quite a bit tonight. So I apologize to everybody.
No worries.
If you get into Disney, it's going to be a shit show on my side of things.
Yeah, it's always fun.
I hate Disney.
I love it so
I like kind of like classic Disney back in the 60s and 70s. Some of that stuff, the live action stuff is good. But they've, they made some classic, but they're starting to ruin everything. Yeah, we have 7 people.
Hey, let's do it.
Nice.
Hopefully everybody is still in attendance. If not,
ready to do it.
Let's do it. Let's go for it.
We're
going for this right here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry it took me so long to show it off, but here it is.
Well, just to give you a heads up, though, I had to use my copy to show them what we were doing.
That's fine.
Yeah.
This one's new, I swear. It's not going to be Charlie's. It's open. The digital code's probably been used. This is new. Everything's cool. Hopefully everybody here lives in the United States, because if you don't and you win, I hate you. So.
Okay, you guys ready?
Let's do it. Don't get excited when your name comes up. It means you're out. So, Oh, God, it's close. It's close. Oh,
Hank.
Oh, Hank.
Hank.
See, this is what happens when you talk about...
Sorry, it says, we have a winner, but...
Hank, you're not the winner. You're the winner in our books, we swear. But that's what happens when we talk about remaking Back to the Future.
This page resets itself every time. I keep forgetting to do it. So here we go.
Here we go. Next person.
We run an elimination wheel, not here, so no.
That's right. Oh, it's getting close again. Oh,
No.
Movies with Ryan. You're gone. So sorry. Those two blues side by side's throwing me off. I need to make my screen bigger so I can read these names. Ethan, you're gone.
Sorry.
I'd like to thank everybody for being in the chat tonight.
Yes.
Appreciate everybody's comments.
I'm sorry I missed the
Be sure
majority
to like and subscribe.
Tell all your friends.
Share our shit.
Share our shit.
Yes.
I know how it sounds. Who cares?
Oh, we're down to the final 3. Let's see who's going to pull it out.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
So we got
John
37, 35. Yeah, so it's up to Jared and
Ben
Busters. All
All
right.
right.
So whoever
Who's it gonna
it
be?
lands on is the loser. Oh,
Oh.
it's definitely going to be Jared's out. Definitely.
Well, the
All right,
first
so it looks
person
like-
in won.
Hey. All right, Ben Booster. Awesome.
Ben
Well,
Buster.
you can contact any of the hosts here. I'm the one with it, so if you want to contact me on Instagram directly or through DMs, that'd be awesome. Or hit up the Cult of Collectors DMs. Doesn't matter. Either way, we'll get you. We'll get your address, your real name, because I doubt that it's Ben Boosters. But and we'll get that sent off. So thanks for being here. Sorry I missed like the majority of the show.
Buster.
Tonight
Tonight,
did not go as planned. So.
It's all right.
But I made it. But gentlemen, this has been fun. Tim, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
This was awesome.
Yes.
We'll definitely.
Thank you for being on.
It was good conversation, and I love that.
That's what we try to do. That's what we try to do. We try not to be too. We like being everywhere on the chats.
Exactly. That way people can
Cool.
feel comfortable and don't have
Yep.
to feel like that there's a script going on or anything like that. We've had a couple of guests that were almost shy to where they didn't want to be on, but got convinced and joined.
Yeah.
And but we appreciate you having on.
Yeah.
No problem. Like I said,
We'll have you
fun.
on again here soon because you were
Oh, yeah.
excellent guest.
Oh yeah,
Thank you.
you're on the list.
Thank
You're
you.
on the go-to
I can,
list now.
I can ramble on and talk for a long time. So
So can we?
Awesome.
That's a good
Awesome. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's
All
good.
right, gentlemen, this was fun. I appreciate it. You
Yes.
guys have a great
Yes.
rest of your night and a good week coming forward.
Yes, all of you. Have a
Thank
good
you,
evening.
All right,
Bye.
bye y'all.
See ya.